Good morning and welcome. It's March 3rd. It's Monday, and I'm glad that you've joined me to fight CPS. I'm Bob Pace, your host, and please hang on to your children. Now, I know it's a very uncomfortable subject with a lot of you. It's also devastating with me. I've been involved in it too. I've been fighting them for 15 years. I'm not an attorney, but I'm a loving father. I've raised 6 children. 3 of them were trafficked into foster care. And I have 42 years of marriage experience. So um, I know that I can't come up with the perfect answer. I wish I could. But I have helped out hundreds of people get their children back. I've spoken to over 1,000 people in every state and in 21 countries, from Indonesia to Bangladesh to India to Saudi Arabia to Libya to Africa, where we have Liberia and Rwanda and Mozambique and South Africa with 2 of the provinces there. Sudan is one of the newest ones here from Africa, then up to Europe, England, Scotland, Denmark, and Sweden, across the pond to North America, to Canada with 4 provinces. All 50 states have people have called in from, including the District of Columbia. Then we go south the border to Mexico, and then South America, we have Grenada. Then across the South Pacific, we have New Zealand and the land down under Australia, 2 states there. So it's a quite range of people I have. Now, it's kind of important that my attorney, who I work for, is Vincent W. Davis. And he asked me this morning to get some help with our live stream here. Now, this is just fresh from my attorney, so I haven't got it all set up to be written on here, but I need your help to keep the show and the channel going. The cost reduction are ever increasing. Help us maintain the channel by donation to our channel, and we have several options. Just go to the link to support our fight against CPS. There's a Cash App link, a Zelle link, an Apple Pay link, a Google Pay link, and a credit card link. Each of those links have the following: Titanium contributor, $10 per month. Private Facebook group and community, additional videos and seminars that aren't seen everywhere else. 1 new video seminar at least twice per week. Group will be vetted to try and make sure it does not include social workers, attorneys for social workers, and anyone else associated with or working for social workers. 2, a contributor. It's only $5 a month. A monthly newsletter, a monthly group calls with attorney Vincent W. Davis explaining the parts of the CPS case. Each call will have a handout. Then number 3, monthly group calls with attorney Davis explaining a civil rights case against a social worker. Each call will have a handout. Number 3 is a contributor, $250 per month. A monthly newsletter, a monthly group call with attorney Davis explaining the parts of the CPS case. Each call will have a handout. Number 4, a gold contributor is $1 per month, a monthly newsletter, a private Facebook group, and community edition videos and seminars. Now, the links on them is that Grace will be able to put up these links here. Hopefully, I could show them the links. Now, there's something called the Patreon page, and I don't know much about that, but I'll tell you later. Anyway, this is a call out by Mr. Davis. You can do emojis. You can send me thumbs up, smiley faces, or hearts. You can send me stars, and you can also, I had to say hello to people. Hi, good morning, Betty, and welcome to my live stream. I'm so glad to see you. Hopefully, you got over your flu and your weekend was good. Well, Vincent wants to help this podcast keep alive, so he has 4 different memberships, and they start at number 1 starts at $10 per month. It's called the Titanium Contributor. The number 2, it is a Diamond Contributor, $5 per month. And then 3 is a Platinum Contributor, $2.50 per month. And Gold is $1 per month. Those are the ones he wanted, the 4 of them there. And Grace is going to try to help me by putting in the background so I can pull him up. So that's what Vincent has asked. Good morning, Margaret. And by the way, Betty is from Montana and Margaret is from St. Louis, Missouri. And welcome to have you there. Okay, the link is already scrolling. Grace is so good, she's already got it down there. If you notice in the bottom of my page, it tells you the patron. It shows the patron. That's one of the 4 links. I think that's one of the 4 links. Maybe there's more links there. I know Grace is working on it. Did you get it? I never had the flu. Betty, I thought you had the flu when you told me you weren't feeling too well. I thought you had the flu. I never had the flu, but thank you for asking. Okay, that's the link, and then there's 4 choices to make on that link. You contribute $10, $5, $2.50, or $1, and that'll keep the live stream going. And that's the request of my attorney, Vincent W. Davis. Vincent W. Davis. So I'll leave that for a few minutes, and then we have other information we can show you also there. Margaret and Betty, what would you like me to talk about? What would you like me to do today? Is there any particular thing you like to talk about before I get into my 5 rules and talk about other things about CPS? Oh, I'm glad you got over it, Betty. I'm glad you get over it. I'm glad I didn't have it. I would hate to have the flu. Okay, this live stream is on twice a day, 7 days a week. It comes on at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and again on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the only exceptions is on the weekend. My morning live stream is at 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's my morning there. Well, thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Margaret has Mr. Davis as her attorney. So that is good. And Betty is trying to get her niece back. She had a rug pulled on her a week ago. And they were having trouble because the first foster care parents mentioned that the child will go through a lot of suffering with separation. And the child's so young, I don't think it would, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. So anyway, Betty did all the right things. And so it was really hard for her. So I pray she gets her niece back. Now, there's one way you can interact with this live stream is to text me a message, either about a question or comment dealing with CPS. Please show your first name and show the city or state. And if you're from a country, also show your country. and tell me something about your case. That's if you want to get an answer. We have about 15 to 30 people in here that are part of the family, and they come and go. There's a good group of you that do ask a lot of questions and so forth. Now, if you want to be on my live stream as a guest, all you have to do is send an email to Grace, and she can reach at grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. And she'll gladly give you the link to get on StreamYard. That's what I use. I broadcast using YouTube, but I use the StreamYard application. I'm getting my water right now. I'm sorry. I had to get my water. Ah, that tastes good. And she'll also tell you what to do on the live stream, which you can't do. Now, the last thing I have that you can interact with this podcast is you can call me at 626 698 0990. That's 626 698 0990. And that's a live phone. And I use Vonage on the internet, but you don't have to have it. Just call me. If you call me from a landline, make sure you put 1 in front of the 626. If you call from a cell phone, all you need is 626, then the number. And what's nice that if you call in or a guest on my live stream, you'll get a free 15-minute private one-on-one session with Vincent Davis over Zoom. So please, if you want that 15 minutes, I will tell you how you can get it after you do it. So either be a guest or call in. And there you go. You get 15 minutes with one of the best CPS attorneys. Now, when I call CPS, I mean the Child Protection System. There's different names in every state, every county. Every state has counties. Some are 1,000 counties. Some are probably 5,000 counties. It all depends on how big the state is and so forth. But you have to understand that not all CPS is good. There are some rogue CPS where they abuse your children and take your children. Now, I had an interesting guest last night. I thought it was Grace because it came on with the YouTube with a beach scene. It looked like something Grace would do, but Grace didn't say much. That Grace, I never knew where she was from, but Grace did come on my show last night, and it made me think of Grace, who is off on Sundays, by the way. So anyway, sort of information for you, Grace, if that was you last night. I don't think so. Now I've got another phone number I need to talk about. It's 888-888-6582. That number is the law office of Vincent W. Davis. There you can reach him. You can retain him through that number. You can also get training guides. And one of the newest ones out is for grandparents. It's a guide to getting your grandchildren step by step. It's for California, but it'll work for all states and even work for parents. It's $9.99 right now, but you can get it for half off by using this discount code. I have PACE, PACE 50. That's capital P, capital A, capital C, capital E, PACE 50. There's also training guides in there, how to fight CPS. There's a lot of guides that Vincent has put together. So you can call that number at 888-888-6582. If you need another attorney besides a juvenile family dependency law attorney, a CPS attorney, he has other attorneys for real estate, marriage, criminal matters, you name it, he has an attorney. So he'd love to help you out with that. With that. Now, let me see here. Now, if you want a little bit longer time with Vincent Davis, you can go to him and pay $60 on the website, and he'll talk to you for 30 minutes. That's a discount rate that I got. You go to the website, https:// and I'll repeat again. And let me see, after / candly .com / apps VWD / Bob Pace. So for $60, you can talk to him for 30 minutes. It's a private Zoom meeting. So you get a free time for 15 minutes, or you can pay $60 and talk to him for 30 minutes. So you got both of them on there. Now I'm going to put the I want to put another place that you can get that guide. There's a store called the stand.store /attorney / Vincent Davis. If you go there, you can go directly and purchase those guide books or technical books about CPS. You just go to that website, stand.store / attorney Vincent WD. And this is the membership. There are 4 types of membership. There's the $10, the $5, the $2.50, and the $1 membership. Now I'll leave that on for a few minutes there too. So there's many things you can get in this room. You can get help with your case. I will help you as best I can. Again, I say I'm not an attorney, but I have enough experience that I can share what worked for me and what I found out. Because I have 5 rules that if I use them at the beginning of my case, I would never have lost one of my children. Yeah, that's sad. 3 of them were taken in, and 1 was a revenge by a social worker. The kind of people you're dealing with are like this. They're corrupt, and they will lie. They'll retaliate. And what one social worker did to our family is she retaliated because she was caught in court on the stand under oath, and she committed she did a lie. She committed perjury, and Vincent caught her on that. What it involved was my wife's sister and husband were trying to take our daughter, get custody, and they were supposed to be good parents. And so Vincent very cordially started off saying, "Are they good parents?" And the social worker said, "Yes." Then he said, "Have they ever done any domestic violence?" And she said, "No, they're perfectly fine." Well, he knew that they had. So he dug up about 30 reports. Not only were they domestic violence, they were physical domestic violence. Not a safe place for a 12-year-old child. And we were able to stop there. But the social worker retaliated against us. The social worker retaliated against us and fooled our daughter to emancipate from the parents and the family. That means divorce mom and dad, her 3 brothers, her 2 sisters, her both sets of grandparents, her aunts and uncles and cousins, everybody. She no longer was family, which was sad. Not only did she do there, she went and told her to change her name, and she had a beautiful name. And then she was told to seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, and get a new social security card. She was using 2 social security cards, and she was double dipping. And then she was adopted by her foster care parents. That was heart-wrenching to us. That really hurt us, really, really, really bad. And so you have to be careful of them. No, I don't think the social worker ever got reprimanded. In fact, she got so many bonuses. That director there is so bad. I wanted to sue her, and I had a good right to sue her, but I didn't have the money to hire Mr. Davis to sue her. He said we had a case. He said make me a rich man. I didn't want to be rich. But anyway, it would take a lot of money that I didn't have. Yes, the outcome would be if I still had my home, I would have. But I used my money the first time to pay Mr. Davis. So I lost my home and I lost all my assets. It's a terrible experience for me because the lawsuit would help pay back some of the expenses we lost. 15 years to my life has been bad. 15 years. And thank you for asking, Margaret. Thank you for asking. My 5 rules, I'm going to go over quickly. Number 1 is you need to get an attorney. 2, you need to document everything. 3, you need to say no to police and social workers and do not let them in your home and do not let them take your children. And 4 is the format when you search on the internet. You have to really important to have the right format. And then 5 is to gather all your documents, make copies of them, and hang on to them with the documents. Those are 5 rules I said in a short time, but there are probably a lot more. I want to thank for the first emoji in the room right now. Let's see here. Philistine. Philistine is from Canada. She's been on my show a lot, and she too was taken advantage by CPS up there in Canada. She's actually the First Nation Indian in Canada. You know, we have 2 kinds of Indians. We have the Native American Indians and the Canadian First Nation Indians. They both are the first immigrants to North America. Nope, it happened in 2015. We would have had to sue her. I know we did lay the foundation, but I don't know if we can still do it because the case was over in 2017, and so it's been 5, 6, 7 years. So it's a hard thing to swallow, Margaret, because they really did screw my case over. I love my family, and I fought for them, but I did not know how. I did stupid things. I didn't get an attorney. I got Mr. Davis after the damage was done. I got him after the first year. And it's hard sometimes to think back about it. My 2 boys are living with me, but it still is hurting them. And my wife has never been the same. My wife is devastated by it. Now, my phone number is live. You can become a member of this room by going to that web link, and there's 4 different membership types. But you have to understand all your listening. Whatever you do, do not talk to social workers or the police. It's your constitutional right to have an attorney present. And you don't want a court-appointed attorney because it isn't going to work out for you. Court-appointed attorneys have no experience in juvenile family or dependency law. They certainly won't fight for your case. And they have a baggage, meaning they have so many clients they don't have time for your case. And they're controlled by CPS. I agree with you, Margaret. The ones that get hurt the most are the children. Children don't understand it. Parents don't understand when CPS comes a knocking at your door. You just learn to say, when you're brought up as a child, you were told by your parents, don't answer the door. And that's true. A lot of people have been killed answering the door. It's not safe to answer the door. And it is true that the children are the ones that get hurt. Now, I'm open to anything you have a question about or what you want to talk about. I'm glad that Betty and Margaret are in the room. That is great. They can help me with people that come in that need answers and so forth. Now, Margaret, I think your case is coming up soon. And I think Betty is too. I think she still has a chance of getting that child back. Now, I'm trying to do Cora Digest. Cora is a question answer forum. And there are usually good articles about CPS in there. Now, instead of leaving the room and trying to go to the internet, I'm going to try to. Oh, we got someone in here. D5. Welcome, D5. D5 Robinson. D5 Robinson. Welcome to you to the live stream. I'm sorry, Deanna Robinson. I don't know why I got. Oh, I was reading your name above it. Deanna Robinson. Where are you from, Deanna? I'm not needing answers. I need prayers. Okay. Prayers are a good thing, Margaret. I know that. I know that. Now I'm looking at my phone at Cora's Digest because if I go into the computer, that means I'll leave the screen. I can't tell if someone comes on. Okay, now here's my latest one here. We'll see how this works out. Okay, this is a question. Has someone ever unjustifiably reported you to Child Protection Services? What was the outcome? Well, the answer is by Kimberly, who's a former ICU nurse, and she answered it back in February. I literally just had this happen to me last week. I was working from home, and a police officer knocked at the door and asked if he could come in. Of course, come in, sit down. Boy, that was a big mistake, I can tell you already. How can I help you? She said. There was a report that you are neglecting your 16-year-old son. He never has food to eat, and there is concern about his living situation. I said, the answer to the lady said, "What?" I nearly passed out. I love to cook, and I do it as often as I can. He's frequently hanging out with friends, but they come over for supper regularly too. I said, "Please look at my cabinets, my fridge, my freezer." He took me up on it. He commented how much frozen broccoli I had. It's a huge favorite here. Wow, you have a lot of fresh vegetables and meats, and some dishes in the sink, confirming that I cook. I told him I made shepherd's pie the night before. I made chili, enchiladas, and chicken and broccoli and rice and tacos this week. We also had pizza one night. He, at my invite, looked in my son's room. Wow, he has a lot of clothes and shoes, all name brand too. Commented that it was nice and warm in here, 76 degrees. It was polar vortex week, and I refused to be cold in my own house. We talked about school. My son already attends a parochial school. He said he would be leaving my house, going to my son's school to interview him, and then bringing CPS to the house. I was shaken. Well, he went to my son's school, and he reviewed of our meals was identical to mine. He told the officer that my mom gives me anything I need. If I want something, she always will work overtime so we can get it. She lets my friends stay anytime they want. The officer called CPS, said he has no issues, and thought things were excellent here. And CPS declined to follow up, thankfully. Now, P.S. My ex-in-laws are psychotic and like to torture me much as possible. These are your lay people. These are what you got to be worried about. These lay people. They're the same ones who called CPS. Why? Only as a way to try to get me. Sometimes every 6 weeks they'd poll, and that they are livid that we bought a house and are happy. That was something where a common lay people, and that's what a lot of you have happened there. Let me see here. Okay, D. Robinson is Moretta, and I think Moretta, I'm going to guess, is that California or Georgia? I don't know what state Moretta is in. Now, Margaret says, can I share you a link across social media? Would that be a way of support? I don't know if you want to put our links out there. That's great too. Thank you for sharing. That would help. That would help. Margaret says, approximately 2 weeks ago, I was visited by a social worker on 3 different times. I did not answer the door, and they had not been back since. Well, that's good to hear. You followed my rule about not answering the door. Now, we have a new person in the room, cooking with CERSR. Do you know about North Carolina? I've had several people in from North Carolina, and you guys just had a very terrible fire that's burning there. My prayers go out to you that you don't lose your state like LA did. But there's been bad fires in North Carolina and in South Carolina and other places around that area there. I also have people that call in from North Carolina too. I have people that call in from North Carolina too. So I assume you're from North Carolina. What city or county are you in? What city or county are you in? We have D. S. Robinson from Moretta. And I think that's maybe Georgia or California. I'm not too sure. We have Margaret from St. Louis, Missouri. And then we have Betty King. I want to say Betty Joe from Montana. Wake County, CPS is crazy. I can imagine. There was that big hurricane this fall that came through you, caused a lot of flooding, washed away your homes, and CPS was already after the parents not having a suitable home for their kids. And it was not their fault. And CPS was making a nightmare out of Durham and out of different parts in North Carolina. Of course, the storm hit South Carolina and Alaska, went right up there towards Maine. Okay, Betty, you want to say anything? Margaret, you have anything for me? Let's go back to Core Digest and see if another one that we could read there. We can look at Core Digest. Here's another one. This is a question. Has anybody lost their kid due to termination from CPS? Well, John Foote answered this one. He says, I didn't, but my dad got a call from CPS saying that they removed my daughters from our home, that my dad called me yelling at me about it. I said, what are you talking about? He told me about the phone call, and I said, they're my kids sitting down right in front of me playing. So he cooled down and dropped it. My wife and I started to try to figure it out. We think that a friend of hers asked us to babysit for a few hours. So we did. We didn't see her for almost a week. She found out where her mother lived and went to her house and told the mother that we're going to go to CPS if she didn't come back and pick up her kids. Her mother said her daughter had done the same thing to her a few times. So we went home. The daughter came a short time later and picked up her kids. We think she probably found out about dad and told him she was CPS and had taken the kids anywhere. So be careful out there. Boy, that is sad. That is a sad one there. Hello, Kingman from and Good Mommy. Welcome. Yeah, Margaret, I know CPS. You told that before. They're using your daughter against you. They sometimes do alienation, which is illegal. The parents from the kids and so forth. Okay, Kingman, Arizona, Good Mommy. Her name is Jessica Rivard. I have a case out in now her case is in Phoenix, Maricopa County, from the Pill Division 1 right now. It is at a situation where my lower court judge didn't want it is just too late to ask. Well, that's a tough one, Kingman from Arizona. I'd like to hear you say some more. Now, Margaret says, and my daughter is going along with it for the money. Oh, that's terrible. It's terrible when children turn against parents. Margaret says, and her daughter is going along with it for the money. Oh boy, that's terrible, Margaret. That's terrible. Now, CPS in Kingman, Arizona had made false allegations against me on a situation. I graduated already December 5th, 2024. Then I got shot a month and a half after that in the neck, and now DCS just terminated. Oh, wow. Shot in the neck? That's really bad. Cooking with SCR Senior. You've been on before, earlier. How much does it cost to get help in North Carolina? Well, I can't put a number because every case is different. What you need to do is to contact Mr. Davis. You can reach him at 888-888-6582, or you can be a guest of my podcast. And now, my case is decided by unqualified judge. Oh boy. Does Vincent know about your unqualified judge? It's important you keep Vincent in the loop. It's very, very important you keep Vincent in the loop. Now, my podcast goes to 11 o'clock, so we have about 14 minutes left. And so my phone number has been up there for 45 minutes. I'd love to have someone call me. Also, if you want me to guest on my podcast, please email Grace and pick a show that you want to be on. And I can take up to 10 people. Yeah. Thank you, Grace. Now, let's go back to core again here. I was thinking about what Margaret was saying there. Okay, good. Good. It's being set up by Grace at Vincent.com. Good, good. Now, Ariel just called Ariel Thomas, and this is a lady that wants to talk to Vincent for 50 minutes. She called in my show, Ariel Thomas, today. And then here's the script from Grace. I just saw it in there. I just saw it now. And that is good too. And I'm seeing it come up here again. This company will give you the magazine and Upstore have teamed up. YouTube Shorts. Let's help our boys get raised right. They'll live and thrive longer in communities. Thank you very much. When you're raising especially a boy, I came from a house. Okay, they sent me a video too. I can't play that video. Let me go back to my my core digest. Here's one about remaining silent. If arrested and being read the memorandum rights, which is you have the right to remain silent, ended by, do you understand your rights? Well, that's for a criminal claim by a policeman. CPS workers don't talk that way. Do you have an answer, yes or no, to that question? Or you can remain silent. That's if you're arrested and you be reading the memorandum rights. That has nothing to do with CPS because CPS works differently. They don't read you any rights. They don't give you any rights. They take your child. You see, Congress told CPS that they need to have social services create an entity in every county to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Now, neglect is when a child's not fed or clothed or taken to school. Those are some examples of neglect. Abuse is when a child is thrown against the wall, their head is shaken because they're a young infant, a wire or a piece of instead of your hand is being used on their butt and causes welts, that is abuse. That is abuse. Now, Kingman just laid me 3 things so fast I have to catch up with them. Now, Margaret says that judge heard my jurisdiction and deposition hearing has never been on the case. I'm saying the judge is unqualified due to the fact he's only appeared once and made a drastic decision. Well, you have Vincent Davis, so he will straighten it out. Now, there's a question with cooking with CR Senior. When are you on again so me and my wife can be a guest? Again, I'm on twice a day at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in the morning and at 7 o'clock at night. You just contact Grace at vincentwdavis.com. Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And she will get you on the podcast, okay? Cooking with CR, that's great. Now, Kingman from Arizona, good mommy. Yeah, I feel like they're involved in a case, and then I took my son to Vegas to get healed and help from my sister and took my baby. They made a missing report on my son. Are you serious then? Well, why did they make a report missing your son? If the son's with you, he's not missing. Who made the report? Kingman further says 6 cars, the police shares, and troopers outside my house. I was not about to give up my son. They had, if they were so concerned, they would have broken them down the first day when I got shot at, and I was. So she was shot the first day. Wow. They have to have a warrant there. Let me read it further here. Kingman to Vegas, and they should have just taken them that day if they were so concerned about it. Now I'm at war by myself doing what I got to do. I'm going to go to Steve Wilkins for sure pay. Okay. Oh, for sure, yay. Okay. Kingman further says, I'm never going to stop fighting for my son if they want war on there. Well, you got to fight it legally. You got to have an attorney. You can't just use your emotions. You will win nothing. Roger Bonus is, I guess he says, Dear West Virginia, it's not there anymore. Put them counties in the U.S. Please look at a map and quit embarrassing us. I don't know how I'm embarrassing you because I've had some people from West Virginia, but this is the first time I heard Putnam County in the U.S. Roger Bonner, if you could elaborate more on that, that would be great. D. Robinson, can you have Grace send me an email? I can't send one out to her. Yes, you can. You just send an email. If you can receive emails, you can send an email. It's Grace at vincentwdavis.com. Kingman, Kitty Kincaid, you best let her know I said hi. Mario Mommy is coming for you. We don't want to use names on the show. I assume that's your daughter. Anyway, I know you're concerned and you love your daughter, Kingman. I want to help you there. Margaret says, you're in appeal. Yes, Margaret's in appeal. I know that. And Margaret says, and to answer you, first question about the preparatories calling, making false accusations. I had over 18 calls unfounded that I wasn't even aware of. I was in shock when I seen the list. Wow. Well, for 5 years, I had a call once a week. So that's 52 times 5. That's over 200 or 300 calls that were false called in about me. That was really a lot of people. Now, Kingman says in Phoenix, wait a minute, oh, Phoenix, how can I find an appeal lawyer? You start off with your proper wording of your question on the internet. You start off with the city, Phoenix, Arizona. Then you put this, you have the state, and then you put the letters CPS, and all kinds of stuff will pop up. But if you wanted to find it more, you put in after the word CPS, you put appeal lawyer, and a bunch of names will pop up. And then you need to interview them. And there's two important questions. Your first question should be, are you a juvenile family law, dependency law lawyer and has fought CPS? The answer is yes. You go to the next question. After the case over, have you ever filed a lawsuit against CPS and won money back? If the answer is yes, then you're on your home way. You got attorney. Now, Vincent Davis answers that yes. So you have Vincent Davis to talk to and two other attorneys. You call them up and you ask them for references. You check out the references and you want to see if the chemistry between you and the attorney's there. Because it's really important that you get your kids back. My case started, Margaret, in 2010. It was right after I got laid off through no fault of my own. And it was my in-laws that were making the false claims. I did not know it at the time. If I did, I would have nipped it. But I found out later that was them making the calls, harassing. They do that all the time. And I found out that Orange County is really corrupt. Orange County, California is really corrupt. Now, you will find an appeal later that way, Kingman. The Margaret says they were unfounded and never made contact with CPS workers as many times as these false accusers claimed. Be aware of Barstow, California. CPS actually offer a foster parent's position to a convicted human trafficker. Oh, that sounds terrible. Yeah, I know where Barstow is. My calls dated back to 2010. Yours dated back to 2001. That's a long time. Now, Marlene is a new person from Facebook. I got to put her up there because you don't see the Facebook comments. You only see the YouTube. CPS stuck my 3.5 years for so hard. Oh, CPS was so bad, they made your 3.5 yards. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. And let me put the other banner on there. Okay. So, Kingman, tell me how that comes about. Kingman now says, are they supposed to lock up if you have drug charges of abuse and neglect? Or somebody, as a parent, aren't you supposed to go to jail for these allegations? Not necessary. It depends on the district attorney. If it violates a criminal law, then the answer is yes. But having problems with your child, it's up to CPS how they want to pursue it. Let me see here. We're getting close to the end of my show, so I'm going to end up with Kingman from Arizona. So the answer to your question is it's a criminal charge like domestic violence, they can lock you up. Or if you used a weapon against your child, they can lock you up. Now, thank you, Medeno Tel Matez, for calling in. Margaret, it's always good to see you. Kingman from Arizona, you repeated again here. D. Robinson, welcome. Roger Boner, welcome. And I also want to thank, Cooking with CER. That's good. And then we have, let's see who else we have here. We have DS Robinson, and thank you for calling in. And of course, Betty from Montana, Betty Weiferhole. So all of you, thank you so much for making a part of my podcast. With that being said, I'm going to end our show. Please keep fighting for your children. Do not give up. And tune in to see me tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's on the west coast of California. So anyway, I'm going to take my phone number down because we can't take calls. And I really thank you for listening. Please come back tonight and I'll help you. God bless you all and keep fighting for your kids. This is Bob Pace signing